You apply a security patch to harden your server, but instead of tightening defenses, this update contains a logic error that causes the system to validate forged, malicious payloads, as if they were legitimate. System administrators rely on Microsoft's monthly Patch Tuesday. It's a routine process trusted by organizations worldwide to keep infrastructure safe from new threats. On April 14th, developers globally approved the installation of the .NET 10.0.6 package. It was a standard deployment that completed without any immediate warnings. That package introduced CVE-2026-40372, a critical vulnerability carrying a CVSS score of 9.1. In development circles, this is known as a regression, an update that breaks a feature that was previously working correctly. It is a case where the official solution actually created the danger. The vulnerability impacts servers running Linux and Mac OS, and specific Windows environments where developers manually opted in to managed cryptographic algorithms. The error was native to Microsoft's own framework. The very architect of the ASP.NET environment accidentally shipped the code that dismantled its security verification logic. When an automated security fix is the exact vehicle delivering the threat, standard defensive protocols fail. The primary shield has been turned into the attack vector. ASP.NET relies on the core data protection library. This component acts as a gatekeeper, verifying user identities through encrypted cookies and tokens. The update contained a microscopic mathematical error, causing the library to compute the validation tag using an incorrect offset. Because of this misalignment, the application trusts cookies and tokens that should be rejected. An invalid payload now passes the authenticity check undetected. Attackers exploit this logic failure to forge their own data. They can bypass security checks entirely without ever needing a valid administrative password. The math mistake does not crash the server or trigger an alert. Instead, it creates a silent pathway that grants unauthorized users high-level access. Think of it like a bouncer given a warped pair of glasses. He checks a blank piece of paper against the VIP list, reads the wrong line, and lets an intruder into the venue. Once inside, the hacker forces the application to issue legitimate access tokens to themselves. They generate session refreshes, their own API keys, and password reset links. Microsoft's own advisory compared the severity to MS-10-070, a notorious zero-day cryptographic flaw from 2010 that forced a massive emergency response across the web development community. Let me know in the comments if you've ever spent hours debugging a major system failure only to find out it was caused by a single line of bad math. These malicious actions look completely normal to the system. Because the tokens are legally signed by the application's own logic, they don't trigger internal security alarms. For a standard server build, the resolution is straightforward. Systems should automatically update to the fixed version, 10.0.7, to close the vulnerability. But if your project relies on Docker, a standard patch will not be enough. In Docker environments, the broken data protection library is physically baked into the application's built image. The flaw is embedded within the binary itself. Developers cannot simply update the environment. They must completely dismantle and rebuild any ASP.NET Core applications created after the flawed April 14th update. This architectural choice changes the requirements for incident response. Because the library is part of the core build, automated hotfixes are physically impossible to apply. To determine if a system is compromised, developers must conduct a forensic search through application logs. Look for signs of users being randomly logged out. If you find repeated errors stating the payload was invalid following the 10.0.6 upgrade, your application is running the flawed code. Rebuilding the app is only the first step. Developers must also manually expire all active authentication tokens to ensure any forged keys are permanently revoked. This incident serves as a reminder that a patch is only as secure as the logic inside it. Subscribe for more cybersecurity deep dives and share your worst software update stories in the comments. Relying solely on the update button is its own form of risk. True security requires active verification and monitoring long after the installation is complete.